Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for Google's Workspace Works for Learning. I'm Brooke Lowry with Fried Technology, and as always, we're happy to be leading today's learning session on behalf of the Google for Education team. Today's session is a showcase of some of our very favorite new tips for using the Google Workspace for Education tools that we already know and that we already love. For example, Google Docs. Me personally, I just don't know what I would do without all the features in Google Docs. I use it constantly. But before I get carried away into today's learning sessions, because my teammates here are worried that I'm going to just skip right over them, let me introduce my colleagues for you guys, Lori and Courtney.
Hi, I'm Lori Roberts. I'm a lead learning guide with Fried Tech, and I am excited to share all of these great tools with you today.
And I am Courtney, and I am delighted to be here with you to share. And before we get too far into it, also, I want to throw this out here. The number one question we get during these events is, what's the link to the slides again? So I just want to point out that if you look in the upper right corner of each of our slides, you will see our slide deck link. And you'll notice that the address contains today's date. That's on purpose. It's going to make it super easy and simple to access these slides after today. And then one other reminder that this broadcast today is being shared in English, but as always, the Spanish version will be provided as the recording for our friends in Spanish-speaking places.
Awesome. Thanks, Courtney. Those are good reminders because we're always looking for those links. So yeah, if you navigate to the slide deck, you're going to go to fried.tech/4-18-23, and that will get you to the slide deck for today. Just a quick agenda, what we're going to be talking about in the next very fast 30 minutes is we're first going to be talking about making it work with Google Meet. We're going to be customizing the workflow with building blocks. And what you're all going to love the most probably is working smarter, not harder with smart chips. So there's a chance that Courtney's going to be the fan favorite today, but Lori and I are going to work really hard. Really hard.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kick things off with making it work with Meet. And I first want to make sure that I mention that Meet is not just a virtual learning tool. It is really an anywhere learning tool. So that means you can be using Meet all day long in your classrooms with your students. They can be utilizing these Meet tools while working in the classroom or in a virtual learning space as well. And the first one we're going to start with is our emoji reactions. And guys, this is available now. It's available to everyone. If you haven't been on Google Meet recently, jump on there, chat with one of your teachers or with your students because the emojis are so much fun. Everybody loves emojis. And I know that's true now because even my dad sends them in text messages now. So I feel like that's a real statement when he jumped on the emoji bandwagon. But I know me that when I'm talking and a comment pops up, I stop and I read the comment and then I lose my train of thought. So I love being able to have the emoji reactions because then my students or whoever I'm talking to, they're just kind of sending me some positive vibes as we're talking. I know that they're engaged. I know they're with me. They just float up on the screen, but then they also show on the person's tile as well. Now, the next thing that we loved, and we played with it for a solid 10 minutes when it appeared, is when you're in a meeting, if several people are clicking on the same emoji reaction, it collects all of those reactions and then it will get really large and then it's like a confetti cannon. It just pops all over the screen. And yeah, our friend here at Fried Tech, Jacqueline, always says that it's like being stuck in a snow globe of positivity. And that's what I want to be. I want to be in a snow globe of positivity every day. So enjoy the emoji reactions when you're using them. And like we said, just click, 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 click on that reaction. The next huge update that first time I saw it, I was like, yes, is being able to see my speaker notes in Google Meet when I'm presenting, just right there in the tab. I don't have to look to the left or look to the right or look at all my Post-it notes that I've got all over my screen with my speaker notes. It's just so easy when I present in Google Meet. I can click on those 3 lines and ask for it to see my speaker notes. And then it's just right there. I'm the only one that can see them. The viewers will not be able to see the speaker notes. So it's just still private for me. And then everybody on the other side is still just seeing the slide deck. I don't know, Courtney and Lori, were y'all excited the first time you saw that appear as well?
It was a game changer. I'm a notes girl, speaker notes girl too, and I'm always trying to finagle. Let's get this over here, and then put a little spot here. But I want to connect with my audience and my participants, but I need to check. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a game
Oh,
changer.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So this one, this is available now for teaching and learning and the Education Plus. So if you're in this is a great way also for students to practice before they give a speech or to use this. This will allow them to see their speaker notes when they are presenting to others as well. So it's a great tool to utilize. And then next is also making that easier when multiple people are presenting. You and coming very soon in the next few months, you're going to be able to co-present in slides. So like right now, I'm running everything. You guys are going to hear Courtney and Lori direct me to use a few different tools, but this kind of keeps us from being like, next slide, please, next. This means two people can co-present at the same time, and it's just going to be a really smooth presentation throughout the whole learning. And then last for me is hand raising detection that's coming soon. So you've probably already seen me talking with my hands like this. So I'm curious to see how easy it is going to be to detect the difference between maybe some of us folks in the South that talk with our hands versus if we are just literally raising our hand, it's going to pop up the little raised hand icon instead of us actually having to physically click on that. That is going to be coming soon, and it's going to be available for everyone. So that's going to be a very helpful tip and trick that's coming for Google Meet as well. All right, I told you my spot was going to be fast, but Lori's really about to jump in and wow us big time with customizing the workflow with building blocks. Lori?
Okay, building blocks are one of my most favorite new things that I found in Google Docs. So this is available in Google Docs only, and it's available for all of the different education subscriptions. So you can track projects, document meeting notes, or create email drafts directly from your Google Docs. So we're going to jump over to our demo doc. And in this, we have some of those building blocks that you can see. So the first one is the project roadmap. And this one would be great for students to be able to track their work and progress on different assignments. They can easily customize those drop-down boxes in the template to fit their needs. So we've got in progress, completed. This building block, all I did was add in that information on each of those rows. So it gives you the layout really nicely on there.
That is so nice. It just looks clean. It's easy to read. I am a big fan of these progress drop downs.
Me too. And I'm probably a little too organized sometimes. So I think I would really benefit from this to be able to keep track of all of the different tasks that students and teachers have in their everyday life. So I think this one's a good one. And then if we scroll down to page 2, we see the meeting notes building block. This one I love to keep track of meeting agendas, notes, and tasks. You can attach in documents into the calendar invitation so that all of the invitees can easily come and see what was discussed in the meeting, even if they didn't attend. So let's say this was our meeting and Jess didn't attend, but she's normally on that meeting invite. We can just go backspace out and delete out her name. So this can also be our attendance tracker for that meeting as well. It has a note space and a nice little action items. I didn't add in those check boxes. It's all built in to that building block. So let's see how we can, one more thing I forgot. We can also send this directly to email with the little button up there in the top left-hand corner. So if
That's
you click
so
on that, yep,
nice.
you can easily add that in and even attach additional drive files if you need to.
That's great. Man, this is so wonderful. I think about how many times I get into a meeting and I'm like, hold on, who's taking notes? Okay, open up a new Google Doc. What are we going to title it? What's today's date? Who's all here today? Who do I need to share this with? Like that takes the first 5 or 10 minutes sometimes of a meeting, depending on how many people are there. So you're just saying that this just kind of auto generates from these building blocks.
Yes, and you can even what we use in one of I have a recurring meeting that happens every single week on Thursdays. So we use this same doc and we just add in the building block for the next week on top.
Nice.
So then you can have a huge document with all of those meeting notes and you don't have to have 10 different documents, one for each of those meetings. You can have one doc and have it all in one place.
That's so great. I think about using this and, I think sometimes people think, oh, a meeting is always virtual. No, this is like in-person meetings. You already have it on your calendar invite. Everybody's in the same room together. This is utilizing that collaboration piece that works so nicely in docs.
Absolutely. Think about faculty meetings. You could have it all in one place. So nice.
Right there.
So how do we add in our building blocks? It's simple. Brooke's going to scroll down to page 3 and we're going to add in an email building block. So all you've got to
Yay.
do is go to the insert menu.
Awesome.
And then go to building blocks. And then there are the ones to choose from. And we're going to pick email draft. Now you're probably
Nice.
asking, Lori, I can go create an email draft in Gmail. Why do I need to do it in Google Docs? Well, if you're anything like me, sometimes you have some of those important emails that you want to make sure some other people proofread and check for you beforehand. So Brooke can add in emails. We can add in a subject
Awesome.
line. We can add in anything we need to here. And then we can share this document because it's a Google Doc with collaborators and they can come and give us feedback on those emails.
Oh, this is so great. There have been so many times that I think, oh, I need someone to proofread this email, or I'm working with my partner teacher and I want to make sure that I have not forgotten any of the information that we're sending out to parents or to other faculty and staff. So how do they edit this? Do they edit it just like it's a regular Google Doc, leave me comments? How does that work?
They can edit it. If you give them edit rights, they'll be able to edit it just like any other Google Doc. You can give them comment only rights, and then they could leave comments. And then what's great is up in that upper left-hand corner, you see the beautiful little Gmail logo.
Yeah.
You click on that little guy and it actually pops out a little window, and we've got that in our slide deck. You can see the preview of it, and it pops out that little Gmail, and then go back one slide.
I got, there we go.
So it'll pop out a little
Don't
preview.
wait for me, I'm behind. And now we're in a whole nother world. So
we're in another
there we
world.
go.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, I'm not going to click anything. Stop clicking. Got it.
So it'll pop that little email out straight from Gmail, and then you can hit send. You can save a draft in Gmail, obviously, or you could delete if you wanted to. So you can send it straight from Google Docs. It makes it really nice. So again, those building blocks are found under your insert menu. Insert building blocks is where they are all found.
Nice.
So coming in the coming months, Google is adding some custom building blocks that will allow you to create your own templates inside of Google Docs and then add them to a custom building block.
I feel like we need to pause for the oohs and the ahs here. Yeah, because there are folks on the other side who are clapping. I just know it because, man, I love a good time-saving trick and not having to have, 300 template docs floating around in my drive. This is going to be so nice. I know people are going to be excited to hear everything you say about this.
Absolutely. I think about the thing I think the most is lesson plans. I know when I taught, I was a high school teacher and I had probably 6 different preps one school year. So I would create different lesson plans for each of my different courses. So now I could have custom building blocks for each of those lesson plan templates that I needed to make. And once it's available and live, what you can do is create that template in your Google Doc. You'll simply select it and then right click, choose create custom building block, give it a name and hit save. And then that custom building block will be located just where all the rest of those building blocks are in that insert menu.
That's so great. And what's really great about this too is it's on an individual base. So, yes, you can add a template to Google Docs that's to the domain, but this is going to be specific to each individual user. So you won't be having to scroll through everybody's lesson plan templates. It's just going to be the one that you've created for your Google Doc.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
So good.
Am I allowed to click?
You are allowed to go to that next slide. So we can talk about document approvals. Document approvals are one of the best features available for Education Plus customers. You can create a workflow directly within your Google Doc. So Brooke's going to open up a newsletter. I created this newsletter to send out to my school community, and let's say I need my teammates to sign off on that. So what I've already done is I've sent this as a document approval to them. You simply go to File and then Approvals. And once you choose File Approvals, a sidebar will show up over there on the right-hand side. And if you need to start a new approval, you can click Start New Approval or Make a Request, and it will start a new one. You
Great.
add in those email addresses. You can put in a message. You can even put in a due date, which is great.
Oh,
So you can give
great.
people a deadline on when they need to respond by, right? Everybody needs a deadline. And then you simply send that request. And Brooke, if you want to go ahead and hit cancel for me, over there
I
on the
will.
right, we can see that approval process that's been completed by my teammates. So Brooke can click open, and then we can see,
I would like to click
I
open
know,
for you.
there it goes. And it will show you any comments that any of our teammates made. So if I need to go retake a photo or add in some additional information, I can do that before sending that out to my community. And a
Because
great,
Chantel was very upset
she
about
was,
that giraffe in the
she
I'm
was,
picture.
really, I'm really afraid to say this out loud here, but I, does this, the way we're saying Jeffrey here, right?
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Does that go along with the fact that it's a GIF? Just
Oh,
throwing it out there.
Jeffrey, because it's a G and not a
Yeah,
J.
just throwing it out
Mm,
there.
well, since it's a GIF, I don't know about that, but
I knew you were going to say it.
I
That's
knew
why I
it.
had
I
to
knew
go there.
you had to poke the bear, didn't you,
I
Brooke?
did.
Poke
I
that
did.
bear. So I can change that picture, and document approvals work in Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. So you can use it in any of those three
That's great.
programs. And as a bonus tip, if you go into your Google Drive, you can also create document approvals straight from there. You just right click on a file and choose approvals, and it'll jump you into that process.
Great. All right. I've lost our slide deck.
That's okay. It's coming. I can feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just taking a little breather.
Yeah.
Taking a lunch break, right?
It's
It
getting ready
is.
because we're about to talk about some exciting things here.
I'm going to let that load and we'll go ahead and talk about yours, Courtney, without the deck.
Yeah, not a problem because I am personally definitely team smarter, not harder. And so when we were looking at the demo doc, we saw actually smart chips already. So what you have is the @ symbol that we all know and love, but it's super powerful now inside of Google Files. So under status in her project roadmap there, we have what is known as a drop down smart chip. You can go in and choose some information. If you look under related files, we have a file smart chip. Hang on one second.
Okay. Say that again.
Okay, under related files, we have a file smart chip. So it says
There it
class
is.
notes, but if you hover over that, it's going to bring up the actual file that it's linked to. So it's not that long, ugly URL pasted into our table, right? It's just that little smart chip that will take us directly to that file. Go on down to page 2 in our meeting notes.
All right.
And you're going to see that you have some date and
Yes.
calendar and even people smart chips. And again, when you hover over those different smart chips, you'll get different information. That's how they work. Okay. Anybody who uses the file will be able to see those. On page 4, we have a little space. Let's go show you how you make some of these smart chips. If there's one way to do something in Google, there's probably 2 or 3. So of course, that insert menu, if that will help you, remember that's where you find building blocks. That's also where you're going to find a lot of these. You can always go insert. But for smart chips, if you just start to type and do the @ symbol and say @tomorrow, because we have something coming up tomorrow, that's going to give me a tomorrow date chip.
Nice.
You could do today and things like that. To get @ people, you can do @ and start to type a person's name, or of course date, and then you get a full calendar, and then you can choose a date there.
That's nice.
Get in your people by just typing in, start to type their names, and then as you start to type, you'll get some options down at the bottom. You can choose the correct person. One little piece to note is that in this document, it's already shared with everybody in our domain, but it doesn't automatically share when you make a people smart chip. So you still have to make sure you share your document the correct way.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Now, before we move on, it's a couple of smart chips that are some of my favorites and time savers that I can't not talk about. If you start to type @watermark, you don't even have to type out the whole word. WAT, let's see how far it takes.
Oh, whoops.
There
I
we
did the whole thing. I just did all the way to water.
There we go. Click it. Google loves a right side panel. There we go. We can add an image back
Okay.
there. We can toggle over and just put text. My favorite is don't copy, you copying copier. And then hit done. And so just that quick and easy. You don't have to remember where do I find watermark over in the menu? Just add watermark. Now, do I have any table users? I know I can't be the only one who loves a good table.
No, but you have to slow so that I can let my document do all the magic.
And catch up. Yes, I know.
I couldn't leave it on Arial, ma'am. I had to change the font.
My
Of course
apologies.
she did. Of
There
course.
are people watching, and I did not want to be judged for leaving that on Arial. Those who know that I need a different font
That is
knew
fair.
I needed just a minute.
That is for sure fair. And I know that Brooke for sure is a table lover.
Yes, I
She's just like
am.
me. Okay. Or for organization, whether it's meeting notes, if you're in your classroom, you're building some activities like hyperdocs and things like that, just to keep things organized. Old tried and true. We go up to the insert menu, we go down the table, we scooch over to the right, and we can choose the size of our table. Works just fine. Or there's a smart chip for that. I'm going to start to type at TA. And Brooke types quickly, so she's going to type out the whole word. That's fine. But I promise it works out with just a little TA. Maybe tab. But then it's right there. And I'll be honest, I don't know that this is actually shorter, but it's less clicks and it seems like a good shortcut to me. And it's the way I insert my tables now.
I love this. I love tables. I love working in tables. Yes, so easy to use. They make our documents so pretty. We can put all our titles and all of our content in each of these squares. I love this trick. I love it.
Brooke, if you don't mind, hit the insert menu just so people can see
Sure.
insert and then drop down where it lives.
Absolutely. So here's our table right here, insert table. And then, yeah, everything we've been talking about, we've been using the @ symbol. All of that is available in this insert menu.
So, and these are smart chips that are there and available, right? But you can also turn things into a smart chip. So you can take a URL to a file, to a YouTube video, things like that, and create your own smart chip. You just, instead of having to go type some text first, highlight the text, Control K to open up the menu to add a hyperlink, you can just copy your text and follow some little helpful prompts from Google.
Right. I was going to take off the watermark real quick.
Oh, gotcha.
Just so that we can remove that distraction. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. So now we're going to add our...
We're going to create our own smart chips.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Are you ready for my prepared moment?
Yes.
I have put these docs already in my Google Keep. Am I still with you guys?
Yes.
Okay. I'm offline. So, all right. So I'm going to highlight and take from my Google Keep note here. All right. And now when I paste, what should I see?
Magic.
Google is going to prompt you and help you and say, you don't want this ugly link, do you? Just hit the tab key and magically you have a smart chip.
I love it.
All right, one more time, just, for fun. We have one more. So that's a file. You can tell it's a Google Doc is our little icon there. And then we have a URL from YouTube. And again, it prompts you, hey, just hit tab and get rid of that.
Nice.
Now, one other little hidden gem from Google, especially again, I'm talking when you're building in your classroom, you're building those hyperdocs and things like that. If you are using Google Docs, and we like to call it here single tab learning, it is easy to lose students and adults if you send them over to YouTube, right, in a new tab. If you hover over your smart chip and then go down to the little preview, you'll see a little text box that pops up that says open preview. You can watch your full YouTube video right there on top of your Google Doc. Don't have to go anywhere.
Oh, so nice. Yes, that's so great because now, like you said, single tab learning. I'm in the same place. I don't have 13 tabs open. Well, I've got like 5 or 6 open, but I don't have a ton of them open that are going to slow everything down. So that's great.
For sure, for sure. Okay, and so let's talk about a couple of custom smart chips that are coming up.
Okay.
We
I'm going to
do
go
have,
back to the deck. Let's see if we're, nope. Okay. The
that's
deck
okay.
no longer likes me. We're good.
That's fine. And if y'all are looking along in the deck, we're on slide 15, and you can look at it, and I'll tell you all about it. So there's one we have right now called that's already there. We have a stopwatch. You can start, stop, and reset a timer as needed. All of these things that we have access to are because of the smart canvas. The whole goal is to be able to have students and teams working together and collaborating in the same doc and not have to go out to all these different places. They can just keep going where they're already working, right?
Right.
Now, two of our coming soon chips are going to be a timer. I'm a recovering English teacher.
Ooh.
I am very excited about the fact that there will be a timer. My students can practice again their presentations. If they needed to read and record themselves reading, they can practice it and kind of time themselves and things like that. Teacher can use it to track time and activities in the classroom. Lots of different options. The other coming soon smart chip is going to be emoji voting chips. So again, right in
Oh,
one place, right
nice.
inside of that document, quickly gather. We can vote. Let's be honest, we're at a meeting. What's for lunch, right? It's 8:30. Let's figure out what's for lunch.
Tacos.
Let's throw it in there and you can choose your emoji and everybody can vote really quickly. Those are going to be available again by typing like at voting chip and at timer. And they're coming to everybody generally available in the next few weeks is when we're hoping to
Awesome.
see those.
Oh, yeah. The voting chips are going to be so great.
Could you imagine putting one of those in with your building block for your meeting? And so you've got your meeting notes, and everybody is saying, yes, this is what we want for lunch, or no, we don't want that for lunch.
For
Yeah.
sure. And then the last smart chip in our last few minutes here, we're going to talk about drop downs. So the document that Brooke is showing for us right now are just some sample drop downs we've created here at Fry to hopefully get you thinking about, some ways you could use these either in your classroom or your day to day. We have one at the top that's like a student data tracker, and you'll notice in the columns they're able to say, did I complete the task? You can hit that little we call it a pirate flag here, but hit that little caret, and you'll have some options there that you could choose from. If we scroll down, we have, I think, a math example and a science example. Notice that we always have blank or choose one as our first option. And that's just a good rule of thumb because whatever you put in as your first option will be what students or users see. And so just so people know they need to choose something, we encourage using that to kind of just remind them that they need to make something happen. So how do you get a drop down? You do at drop down. And you'll notice that you have the ones I've created already, but then you have a plus new drop down button. And you can just go and create it. So she's going to hit plus new drop down. You go ahead and give it a name. You're essentially creating a template, which Lori got me thinking. When custom building blocks come along, I feel like we'll be able to build those building blocks and include these drop downs.
Oh, that'll be
Yes.
so good.
And
Yes.
they'll be ready to go everywhere, right?
What a time saver.
Yeah. And so while Brooke is building that, she's putting in some choices. She's going to add in some color. A couple other things that we like to always say to think about is with color, it can just be, oh, that's cute. But also, it can be a benefit for teachers. If I create my color scheme for my answer choices, like question 1, I know is yellow, and question 2, I know is green. At a quick glance, I'll be able to go through and see yellow, green, red, purple. Okay, so think about that. And then these drop downs only live in the doc you live in. But why not make a template? Google Doc, or hopefully once we all get custom building blocks, you can then just copy and paste it into a new doc and you don't have to remake it every time. So
Yeah, that's helpful. I love the color coding. I use that trick a lot of times in grading. It's very rare that students catch on to that. So, I know really quickly, like if it's supposed to be a green or a yellow or a red, and that just helps me grade faster. And it also helps me be able to even look over a student's shoulder really quickly and tell if they need a little bit of help in their learning.
And before we run out of time, smart chips
Which
are
we
also
are.
available in sheets, not in slides yet, hoping it's coming soon.
Yeah. Okay, well, I would show y'all our very last slide, but hopefully that you're looking at it since we are not loading that. I'm going to let it go. How about that? How's that for Tuesday? I'm just going to let it go in our last 30 seconds. So thanks you guys for watching. I hope you picked up some tips that you can use. I hope that you're super excited about the Smart Canvas and using Meet for that Learning Anywhere tool. Again, I'm Brooke from Fried Tech, and this is Lori and Courtney from Fried Tech. We hope that you join us next week as we talk about screen recording. So we will see you guys next week.